Hi, so the theme for today's video is going to be eyesight and strabismus, and I used to make a lot of these type of videos before I got involved in the Lucy Letby case. So I have something called a hidden strabismus, and it's also called a latent strabismus, and what that means is that one or both of your eyes moves from its normal alignment under periods of visual stress, say if you're reading, and it can be emotional stress as well. So if I'm trying to read, then it would happen, or if I'm trying to do close work, it would happen. Also, if I was trying to solve a problem in my head, like I was trying to work through a list in my head or do some math in my head, then my eye would start to travel out. Now I'm slightly long-sighted, and this wasn't picked up or diagnosed or treated properly like for ages, and I was starting to get bothered with it in my 30s, and at the same time I was getting discomfort in my left eye every time I was trying to look at anything basically closer than my outstretched arm, which was the strabismus starting to get bothersome. Now, I may have always had it, but my point is that I started noticing an issue there in my 30s. So on the plus side, it's very small, like it's a couple of 2-3 diopters of prism, so it's very tiny, even though it feels quite big to me. It does cause quite a lot of discomfort and problems if I haven't got it in check. And also there was a time before I was bothered with it, so that makes me think, is it possible this could be reversed? And also it does tie in with posture, and that's actually quite a common thing with strabismus and squints and lazy eye and what have you. People may have a torticollis, so a neck posture or favour one side, which that's been the case with me. So your eyes affect more than just your eyesight. They can really affect your physical health as well. So I've been trying to do something about it, and like I say, I think I've got a good chance, A, because it's very small and simple, and B, there was a time when it was less of a problem. And why am I not asking for visual therapy? Like I say, I have not had the proper help I should have had. I haven't had diagnoses when I should have had them, and as soon as I get one diagnosis, then someone else will try and reverse it. So all that thing has been a bit of a nightmare. I just haven't been taken seriously down the years. But okay, so my left eye has the tendency to move upwards and outwards. It feels like it's moving outwards but falling down, but I've been told the movement is upwards and outwards, so I'm probably feeling the muscle somewhere there. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting my fingers very lightly over both eyes, and I'm going to wiggle them around a little bit, and that way I can feel the difference in movement. And when I started, I could honestly feel that they were moving in quite different directions. I still feel it some, but since I've been trying this out, it's made quite a bit of a difference. So the next thing I want to do then is inhibit that movement. So I'm just gently placing my finger where the eye tends to move to, where it's moving too much. So I'm just going to maybe look up, look down, maybe look into the distance, maybe look a bit closer. But all I want to do is inhibit that that outward swing, and it's to get the other muscles that aren't working properly. It's to kind of jog them into working so that all the muscles are even. And I'm finding it's making quite a difference, because once I do, I mean, the first couple of times I did it, I kind of noticed how much straighter I was standing up. So suddenly I was relaxing down my left side, whereas I've been very tense before. Now, my strabismus, it actually has a tendency to disappear under, or for the eyes to kind of almost snap back into alignment under certain conditions, and it tends to be where I'm going to be straightening the spine. So say if I'm walking down a hill, so I'm straightening the spine, letting my jaw drop, you know, raising my head. If I'm wearing a bit of a heel, that will do it. I mean, what can set it off again is going to be reading, computer work, close work. What happens when my eyes do snap back into alignment is that I find myself suddenly more long-sighted than you know, otherwise. So this is something that comes and goes. So I mean, obviously when I go to the optician, what my vision is like in my daily life is not what's getting presented at the eye test, which really makes it a bit difficult to get the right prescription and, you know, to get taken seriously again. So I'm doing this, and it's not something I do as an exercise. I just do it at periods throughout the day, and I can be looking at distance, I can be looking downwards, and I do it just to try it out, you know, wiggle the eyes around a bit, just to kind of, I guess, jog that memory of doing things right and to get the muscles used to working a bit of a different way. And I'm finding that is actually sticking. Now, the other thing I'm doing is I'm looking at how I'm walking, because I'm actually posturing in you know, to line my eyes up and to be able to see, and that is actually quite common with strabismus and long-sightedness. And I did actually, or you know, I've made that link or that link has been researched, but my own posture, now I made that link years and years ago, but just changing my posture hasn't been enough, because the reflexes, yeah, that's great for when you're doing sport, you know, and getting the alignment back, but as soon as you stop and do something up close, like, I don't know, even if you pour a cup of tea or something, the reflexes kick in, and it's instantaneous. You go back to your old habit and posture. It's a reflex. You can't override it. But with this is helping me, actually. So the thing I'm doing with posture, because I walk unevenly, so I don't really put my left foot properly on the ground. So I kind of walk kind of to the side. Now with my right leg is, and my right foot is, you know, that's doing everything. So I'm going through the cycle properly there. I'm putting my foot on the ground properly, you know, flexing or extending my toes, or whatever you do. But not with my left. And what is happening is my right leg, I extend it properly when I walk. So I lock back a little at the knee. I know you're not supposed to really do that a lot, but I notice that's what I do. So I fully extend back, I guess. But I'm certainly not doing that with my left. So I've just been mindful of walking that way. So practice locking back a little with the knee to get, you know, to get my pace more even. And that is really working very, very nicely. You know, so the two things are happening in tandem. Now, obviously, I want to look at maybe how I pick things up. How do I read a page? How do I track across a line? How do I maybe do close work or something? But I think this is the biggest thing. And I've noticed it seems to be changing what my refraction is, because my left eye looks a bit shorter than it actually is, and now that it's kind of swinging back into what it should be, there seems to be a little bit more plus in my vision than what's been measured, because I noticed now when I had my Polaroids, which I still wear, so my daily glasses, because they relaxed my eyes really, really well, so they got a bit of a plus on, and my eyes would be nice and properly relaxed, and I'd go into a room and suddenly what was inside the room would actually be quite blurry, and it wasn't, you know, because of the Polaroids being dark. It was that fuzziness of everything being a bit too close. So with these, I don't notice that so much because I'm squinting a lot against the light, and that is another thing. So I'm trying to inhibit the impulse to squint, and that works very well as long as I got a finger there, and it is kind of taking when I remove the finger as well. So I'm very light sensitive in this eye, so that's another reason I'm trying to inhibit the squint, to get both eyes working together so that they perceive light the same. So yeah, and I've kind of lost my thread a little bit, but yeah, so I think there's going to be a little bit extra plus when this all gets sorted out, basically. But this is working quite nicely for now, and obviously I'm doing it for myself. I've got my particular, you know, set of circumstances with strabismus, and with eyesight everybody's is different, but I mean, this is very, very gentle what I'm doing. There's no real rigour to it, so this is perfectly safe what I'm doing for myself here. So yeah, so I thought I'd talk about this for a little bit, and I hope this works, and that, say, in a month or so I can, you know, come back with another video saying I've done this, you know, now my eyesight has settled down and is stable. That would be super, but we'll see. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next video.